It's time for some outrageous predictions. I'm Stephen Means. That's Stefan Krajisnik, and that is Andrew Gillis. And Ohio State plays its first game of the 2024 season on Saturday against Akron, 3:30 on CBS. And it's time to get wacky. It's time to get wild. Stefan, starting with you. What's your outrageous prediction for Saturday's game against Akron?
Yeah, my prediction is it comes from and is inspired from Jack Sawyer about 2 seconds ago, who said that one of the goals for the defense this year is to pitch a shutout because they haven't. Last year the closest they got was 3 points allowed. The last time they had a shutout was 2019 against Cincinnati. So my prediction is that record resets to 2024, and week one against Akron, Ohio State won't allow a single point, as this defense kind of shows us early, even against lesser competition, how good they can be this season.
When they did that in 2019, that was also with an elite defense, and it kind of paved the way for what that year was. As you mentioned, 2019 against Cincinnati, as you mentioned, came close twice. Late in the year, Michigan State and Minnesota both made 50-yard field goals late to ruin those shutouts. You're saying no one's going to ruin it on Saturday. Akron's not making any 50-yard.
Akron's kicker, I think, blew a game at Indiana last year, so I don't know if their kicking game is very strong to begin with.
That helps. Shutout for Ohio State on Saturday from Stefan Krajisnik. Andrew, where you going?
In a similar vein, I think Ohio State's front seven absolutely wrecks the day. I think they are going to allow fewer than 20 yards rushing against Akron, and I think they're going to have 7 or more sacks. I think they are going to dial this thing up. I think we might be looking at, a couple series for the starters. I don't know how long we're going to see Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton. But are we not confident in Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry and the host of players that they have in the interior? If we had done this 8 months ago, 9 months ago, we might have been having this conversation going, oh, yeah, the Akron defensive line is probably going to be Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry at end, and then you're probably going to have Ty Hamilton and then somebody else up the middle. Well, everybody's back. So the second team is still very good, and I think Ohio State is going to be rip-roaring ready to go to show a lot of different things defensively because they have that ability. We saw this a little bit in the spring game. They tried that double eagle stuff. They did a 5-man front. They did a bunch of different things. And I think this is the week where they're just going to lay it out there. I mean, they don't play Notre Dame early. They don't play Oregon early. They don't play a Big Ten opponent on the road like they have in the previous couple of years. So you don't really, I guess you could say, maybe they should save some stuff. No, I think they're going to put everything out there. And I think they're really going to get after Akron, and they're going to say, you know what, come and stop it. So that is why I think Ohio State is going to dominate the front seven. I think, again, remember, rushing yards do go into sacks. So if you get, 8 sacks or something like that, and they're all for 10 yards, well, there's minus 80. So that's where I think I'm coming from. I think Ohio State's front seven is going to absolutely obliterate Akron, and I think they're really going to dial some stuff up. I don't think that pedal is coming off the metal anytime soon.
So under 20 rushing yards, and you said 7 sacks?
7 or more sacks.
I believe the last time they played Akron in 2021, they had 7 sacks in that game as well, and that would be a heck of a way to set the tone for a team where we've been wondering where the sacks are. Well, here you go. We're going to start off that game with getting a lot of different sacks in this year. I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball. You guys went both defense, which I think is justified. This might be the best defense in the country. And I'm going to use a saying that Andrew has been saying for 4 months. Emeka Egbuka, really good. Really good football player, but also very versatile football player. Ryan Day once used Deebo Samuel when he was comparing Emeka Egbuka to maybe who he could be in the NFL in terms of guys you could use him as. This is a guy, you can use him in the pass game, obviously as a slot receiver. He can play outside, but also you can use him in the run game. And he was talking a lot about you can use him as a return specialist. He was a kick returner as a true freshman, and he's been the punt returner the last 2 years, and you're expecting him and Brandon Inniss to hold that job down this year as well. I want to go back to the Purdue game in 2021. And I think that was the game where we got to see everything that made Garrett Wilson so elite. He had 3 receiving touchdowns, and he had 1 touchdown on the run for a 51-yard jet sweep for touchdowns. I'm not saying that Emeka Egbuka is going to have 4 touchdowns on Saturday, but I am going to say he's going to have 2 50-yard touchdowns. One's going to be a receiving touchdown, and the other one's going to be a rushing touchdown. I think of the receivers, Jeremiah Smith, really good. Carnell Tate, really good. Brandon Inniss, really good. But I think Chip Kelly being here, the creative play caller that he is, probably helps Emeka Egbuka the most, coming off of last year, where maybe if you've forgotten what makes him special, Chip Kelly might just remind you of what makes him special, and that's both in the pass game and the run game. So 2 touchdowns for Emeka Egbuka, 1 by air, 1 by land, both 50 yards plus. Get the text 614-350-3315. I'm Steven. That's Andrew. That's Stefan. Ohio State plays Akron at 3:30 on Saturday. See you guys there.